What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Great morning. Happy Wednesday. Wherever you are in the world, so glad that we're together right now. Looking forward to this session with you. It's going to be a huge focus on the technicals all across the markets because really there's nothing else to talk about, huh? Markets are flat ahead of Biden introducing the $1 trillion infrastructure plan ahead of Friday's non-farm payrolls. First Friday of the month. You remember, I've said that we're going to be focusing once again on non-farm payrolls. This one's supposed to be a blockbuster. Today's ADP report was kind of but nevertheless, we'll see what Friday brings. We're going to talk about the ramifications for the markets. It's going to be a top-down look across the markets, taking a look at everything, seeing where there's opportunity, and just putting all the pieces of the puzzle together so that we know exactly where we are. Beautiful to be here with you, sharing this moment in time with you, with each and every one of you. And please go ahead and smash the like button as we get started. What do we got going on today? By the way, Honeymoon, right? Our jam, Honeymoon, Ziv, I forget who it was, sent me an email that Joseph contacted Ziv to let him know that each and every day Ziv is setting the mood, changing people's lives. What is it? It's after. First, you're like, what is this music? What? And then you're like, oh, the music. I love the music. Beautiful that Ziv is now understanding what's really taking place here and how his music is touching people's lives. Absolutely grateful for that. This tomorrow. Initially, I said it was going to be on Wednesday. And then I sent out an email and an update in the announcements channel yesterday saying that tomorrow we're going to have the training session, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, exiting Bitcoin. Strategy number 3, Bitcoin versus alts. It's the most advanced of 3 ways to trade the Bitcoin bear market. I am so looking forward to sharing this with you. It's where my focus is, and that's why I want to share it with you. If you hadn't already seen the session, 3 ways to trade the Bitcoin bear market, exiting Bitcoin, the CTM training session, watch that one ahead of tomorrow's. And if you missed last week's, maximizing loans while avoiding liquidation, also do watch that. There's too many. There's too many. That's why if you're just getting started with us, make sure you watch How to Thrive in CTM. Best practices for getting started so you build that correct foundation and you are able to sort through all the material as best as possible. There you go. Right. Heath, my brother. Right? And I wanted to give a shout out to Winthrop yesterday, also reminding me the end of month, end of quarter rebalancing taking place today. Be careful. Now, first quarter 2021, I told you well in advance. I told you back in the summer of 2020, September, everyone was worried. What's going to happen to Bitcoin as the markets crash? First of all, the markets aren't crashing. Second of all, by the first quarter 2021, Bitcoin is going to break all correlations. That's now happened. I know everyone's now a believer, right? What did Bitcoin do in the first quarter of 2021? Let's set us off on January the 1st to the close, 100%. Where were you invested, by the way? Where else should you have been invested, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself if you were invested. We have now coming up the second quarter. Alan bringing it right here. Goldman Sachs. Goldman is now fully positioned into Bitcoin after telling you for years, stay away from Bitcoin. They're now fully positioned and they're now ready to unload to their client base. Always trading against their clients, getting ready here as we are already well into the bull market here. We got a while to go. We all know that. Goldman Sachs will offer a full spectrum of investments in Bitcoin and other digital assets to its wealth management clients in Q2 of 2021. Q2 is now getting ready here. It's going to be fire, right? Wait till we arrive to Q3. Ooh, the end of Q3. That's when the magic's going to happen. That's when the parabolic move into the vertical blow off top is going to occur. We're going to be there, and I'm going to be looking to exit at the right time, making sure that I am prepared as all of a sudden, within a week or so, you're going to see a massive drawdown, 40 to 50%. It's going to shake the markets and everyone, and then you're going to get a bounce of hope, and everyone's going to be like, okay, oh yeah, Bitcoin $1 million. And then all of a sudden, boom, within those 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to see that 70% drawdown. everyone's going to have a rude wake-up call. Hodl. Anyway, Alan AU. Oh, Alan, I'll go ahead and retweet that in a second. Let me bring that up. Oh, this is very important over here. Hold on one second. Alan AU, bring in the game. Boom. Bullish, right? Bullish. CTM. Thanks you. Boom. What's with that at symbol? All right, here we go. So what else we got going on today? A lot. We're going to focus on the technicals today. Goldman Sachs clients feel like we are dawn of a new internet. The clients feel like they're at the dawn of a new internet and looking to participate. Man, how did they miss it? How are they so late? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. Infrastructure plan being released today. Whether the Washington Post yesterday floated, I think, a number of $2.2 or $2.4 trillion. We'll see what the president announces in a little bit. He's going over to Pittsburgh to announce the Build Back Better infrastructure plan. I think a total of $600 billion is earmarked for bridges. I always wonder when I wake up, what's going on with the U.S.? Why is their infrastructure falling apart? Either which way, beautiful thing if they actually put this money to good use. More stimulus and printing. That's the signal we've been focusing on this channel for a year now. We're in March. For a year now. If you remember, in the months after the Fed acted, I told you the main signal that we will continue to focus in on is that there will be further expansion of the balance sheet, central bank's balance sheet, $1.4 trillion this year by the Fed, and stimulus coming from the government. It's now getting out of control as they're not only releasing this new infrastructure plan, they're talking about in April another coronavirus stimulus plan, more trillions of dollars for you, more because they think right now that they could print without consequence. Why? U.S. can print money without inflation. First of all, if you don't think there's inflation, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you don't see the inflation, right? If you consult the CPI and you think that, all right, anything that is rising in price, they just exclude from this and therefore there's no inflation, you should not be in the markets. Now, what else is there? They're talking about now also to low income people having just regular monthly stimulus checks sent out, UBI. If you remember, one of the most important things I said, in the midst of the crisis, this crisis will not be concluded, will not end until UPI has been introduced. We're now seeing that progress. It's what's coming. It's what's coming. What are we looking at? We're now going to focus hardcore on the technicals. Before we do, I want to focus over here. Higher velocity money can equal less inflation, huh? Yeah, that's not what the grocery store says. That's not what the housing prices says. That's not what the healthcare prices says. That's not what the higher education prices says. That's not what the daycare prices says. That's not what the lumber prices say. That's not what anything says. If you believe the lies of the central bank, oh, we're having such a hard time creating inflation. We're having such a hard time. I don't know how we're going to do it. Our main, if you believe the lies, then you're just far behind. All right. Looking over here at Brad's chart over here, focusing. You notice that the two times we came back above this line over here, we stayed above it. Let's look over here, following what's going on. I'm going to make this trend line over here, this important trend line, a little darker so that we could see what's taking place as we came in for that retest. I talked about that retest could be a possibility as soon as we broke out of the bull flag. I told you that, listen, we could come back in all the way down and retest the resistance of the bull flag. That could hold that support, or more bullisher, we could come in and test the trend line, which we did overnight and are now trying to resume off. To resume off, we need the higher high. All right, just a little bit of situational awareness. This is looking beautiful and bullish. It's too soon to look at topside targets, but I just want you to know that Brad and Will sent this over yesterday after the session when we asked him to give us an updated. Look how beautiful that is. These charts Will did in January, right? He did this in the first week of January of 2021, and you could see what happened. He had this is off the log charts, the resistance levels, giving us potential price targets to look at as we get higher. Right? And now you could see over here that after breaking above this where my mouse is pointing somewhere around $50,000 $49,000. Once we breached that line of resistance, we retested for the support, right? And it's held since, consolidating above that support, getting ready for the next leg up. The only thing that I want to point out here as we come up here, as the next thing that happens, and by the way, I have it somewhere around April the 18th. April, if you look back at the last peaks, you had over here the peak. This is as the 14th. Sorry about that. January the 14th. Over here was February the 21st. So somewhere between around the 18th. Over here we have the 13th, and then we came back up to the 18th was the high. Somewhere between the 14th and 20th. That is the peak that I'm going to be looking at this month. Anyway, as we get there, I'll talk about it further. I don't want to get too far ahead and throw a lot of people off. Sometimes if I can't really clearly articulate what's going on in my head, I'm just going to step back. I want to keep you on the right side and not confuse you further. But that is the zone I'm going to be looking. I know that if I'm trading towards the top here, I'm going to be a little bit more apt to possibly take some off of that heavily, lightly leveraged position, fully positioned and more to the max, which is what it is. All right, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself, but what I wanted to say to you, and this is what happens if we break out to the upside? What happens if we break out above this resistance here, and then all of a sudden we come in towards $100,000 hot in that area? It's a possibility. If that is occurring, we'll have the cycle cross way before that. And that's a broken cross, by the way, if you're watching out for that. That's when you should have the cross. That's why I follow price and price alone, and not some indicator that was created after the fact and is kind of back. If we're going vertical to above 77,000, 79,000 and into $100,000, that's not right. That's going to cause me to say, watch out. This is more of a double wave taking place, and we'll act accordingly. All right, I want to focus on the charts right now. We're going to start with the S&P 500 and work our way down over there. There was one other thing there was one other thing I wanted to share, but it's gone. It had to do with gold, and it's gone, but we'll get back to it later. So before we get to the S&P, by the way, let me move over to the gold Bitcoin chart. This is what I consider one of the easiest trades all year long, right? I guess many people are focused in, I don't know what they're focused in on. This is one of the easiest, and I want you to focus on what's happening right now. You can see over here, as we've taken out this last bit of support, right? Breakdown of the support, coming in for the retest right now. What is nice, and I told you, as you break out of the bull flag, that's the time to look for the move down in gold Bitcoin. Here you're coming in for the retest, breakout retest. You see gold silver, gold Bitcoin, breakdown retest, a resumption off here. That could really be the next big leg down on gold Bitcoin, as you can see this chart breaking down over here, taking out that last bit of support, that consolidation, and there we go. S&P 500. So, a couple of things to talk about, right? Friday, non-farm payrolls, it's expected to be a bazooka. We have some investment bank, who knows what they are and if they're right or not. They're saying 1.8 million jobs. You know that we started looking at this chart. JP Morgan is telling us by the end of the year, we're going to add a massive amount of jobs. They seem to be correct. The trajectory is right. The ADP numbers today were kind of soft. They were the largest since September, but kind of soft if you're looking at a huge print on this Friday. However, ADP tends to be a lot of noise and noisy. It's not really signal to focus on. We'll see what Friday brings. If we get a massive print on Friday, what's going to happen here to the S&P 500 and the equity markets? I think that we're going to see the 10-year rise massively towards a 1.93, 2% resistance up here. That could really put a lot of pressure on the equity markets. Now, I'm not one to tell you that the markets are crashing and that we have an insolvency event, about to happen this week or anything like that. I am one to tell you, though, right? February the 18th. When was it? March the 18th, when we possibly could have a correction come in on the markets, right? And why? But I'm not going to watch out for Friday. If we get a massively hot print, if we add a lot of jobs, we could see the 10-year rise. That could put severe pressure on the markets. Adversely, if it is a non-event, if today's ADP numbers are any type of forecast of what we could look at on Friday, then maybe perhaps that sends the markets to new all-time highs. It's fuzzy. There's also going to be a lot of low liquidity on Friday. It's Good Friday. A lot of people, a lot of traders will not be on their desks on Friday. Be careful. The markets could be a little bit jumpy. That begs the question as we look at FX today, what are you looking to do having that situational awareness that on Friday, yes, it is. Yes, it is, JDP. It's absolutely a wolf in sheep. That's the whole point. But we talked about that very early last March, April. Some people, it was too early to talk about for a lot of people. I don't feel like triggering people this morning. If you've been following the channel, you get those micro doses of red pills regularly, and they add up, and we'll just keep it light. All right. So I'm talking about the markets today. I really want to focus across the markets. I'm going to focus only really on the technicals today. Right. So let's keep going over here. I didn't mean to get Good Friday, right? Good Friday. So boom, 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 boom. Baron, what a cool name, Baron. Where are all the likes for this awesome content? Wow, Baron, bringing the heat. All right, I don't listen. I do care about the likes. Please smash the like button if you like what's being shared. If you learn anything during this session, or you just want to say thank you, please smash the like button. But really, what I'm really focused on today is the technicals, and I'm going to go through the markets and take a look at some charts. So, although I really appreciate you smashing the like button, today, I don't really care. I just want to focus on my coffee and the charts, hanging out with all of you. So that's what we're going to do, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right, here we go. So what do we see on the S&P 500? Listen, technically, we looked at this yesterday late at the end of the live stream. We were coming out of the pullback, the breakout, the retest, the resumption up, and then the retest of that broken resistance holding as support. Very bullish market structure. It's coiled back, right? As they release today, or as the infrastructure plan is released today, how will the markets react? Well, we're going to find out soon, and we'll watch that. And that's what's important, by the way. It's not a question of trying to figure out, okay, here's some news event or high impact news release. If this occurs, I believe the market will act like that. No. Wait to see what the release is and wait and watch how the market reacts. That's a bigger signal over there. I mean, the structure in place on the S&P is entirely bullish. It could be making new all-time highs at any moment. No question about that. What about the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq, we also have a very good read on. What do I mean by that? We looked at this again yesterday afternoon, and we said, okay, we had the breakout, the retest, the resumption off, and then since then we're putting in this bull flag. There's the upper flag resistance. There's the flag support. Now, at the same time, we do know that we broke this little trend line here, break down, right? And then a move into the broken support holding as resistance. So the structure here is bullish. At the same time, it's less bullish than the S&P 500. The Nasdaq continues to lag. That could change in a heartbeat if it breaks out of this bull flag. Right? It has a little bit of work to do on the breakout itself. What I mean by that is if it breaks out of let me pull up my paint. If it breaks out of the bull flag here, it's still got to get above this little bit of broken support acting as resistance. Here it was acting as resistance over here, the last couple of sessions. It breaks above there, and then all of a sudden, it's targeting its last bit of resistance, coming in around the 13,333 area. Gets above that, and then it's a matter of time before we take out the new all-time highs. So the Nasdaq structurally is a little bit weaker, but still very bullish. When I say very bullish, I'm talking about the consolidation, the breakout, retest, putting in the bull flag. Okay? Could definitely go either way. It's lagging a little bit, and that's that. What about the Dow? I mean, it just printed a new all-time high in the last 24 hours. Russell, look at that. Everyone here knows exactly what's happening, right? Russell still lagging, but Russell getting ready to break out of this consolidation as well, possibly. I mean, it's on the verge of breaking out. It could get rejected here. It's into resistance, right? So if the Russell starts participating also, it's a big day. Let's see how the market reacts. The market is already obviously priced in the infrastructure announcement. The market is already aware of the range it's going to be, as the Washington Post, they peeped out, $2.2, $2.4 trillion yesterday. That's all irrelevant. All that matters is what the market does, right? So we'll see. Yeah, so listen, the question I'm reading over here is, what's going on with options? I never traded an option in my life. I've never, why? Because if you're going to trade options, you better understand options fully, including time decay and pricing them and everything. That's not my thing. I don't know it. I don't understand it. I do extraordinarily well over here in spot on trading FX. That's what I focus in on. Now, could you use the conquering the market mythology, trading price alone off the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns and trade options? Absolutely, and crush it better than anyone else. No question about that. All right, so what are we doing? What are we doing? DXY, let's take a peek. Let's take a look over here. We got that big breakout over here, right? Coming in now for a retest above the last local resistance, looking to be turned to support right now. It's all entirely bullish. This could take off. We could see this move on Friday, actually, into the blue zone if we get a hot print, a hot jobs print. That's why non-farm payrolls has become so important. Let's be aware, and also just be aware there's going to be low liquidity on Friday. No new positions Friday morning. No gambling. Listen, could you trade between now and Friday? Absolutely. Just understand there's a lot going on. It could lead to some big moves. As we look across the markets today and we see something that's very clear, then it's going to be open for acting. If you're unsure, it's at this particular time, it's probably best to stand aside. So something's got to be really clear. There's nothing to force over here today. All right. What else? Let's take a look at WTI. This is pretty clear over here looking at WTI, right? We can see that we had this line in over here. I don't know. I guess we put it in, sometime last week, and it still continues to hold as resistance. Now, could we butter this up? Could we fix this a little bit, right? Yeah, we are going to fix it. I left my paint on. I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to lighten this up and tighten this up, right? There's the correct resistance, the correct support, and now I have that support. It's clean and neat as we're coming into it. If we break out above it, what does that mean? Do you tack on the breakout? No, you don't. This is not crypto. You wait for the breakout, retest, resumption up. Above that line of resistance, does it open up the upside? Why, yes, it certainly does. But right now, you are definitely waiting. You're not looking to short. There's no way you would be looking to short oil right now. However, you have to wait and be patient. All right. What else? What's going on with gold? Gold's in jeopardy here of really breaking down. The question remains as, do you remember when Bitcoiners were comparing, Bitcoin to the internet in like 1995? How is it that Goldman Sachs and their clients are just doing that today? I mean, how far behind could you be? But the question is, right now, is you're seeing massive inflows by these type of clientele, right, out of gold ETFs and into Bitcoin. What does the future of gold look like? Are Bitcoiners correct? When I talk about Bitcoiners, I'm talking about the legends, the mental giants, the ones who 10 years ago told us everything that was going to be happening today. The ones, So anyway, is Bitcoin going to completely eat gold and make it, a shiny pet rock? I'm not in that camp, but I'm always open to be proving wrong. I just want to be correct. Now, very clearly at the end of this bull market, I'm a firm believer in the 4-year cycle. I'm a firm believer we're going to see a massive bear market in Bitcoin. And at that particular time and place, will the timing be almost too good to be true that exiting Bitcoin into gold is going to provide just to be perfect timing? I sure hope so, right? I do. Gold is money. There's no question about that. Gold under pressure right now from the yields. No question about that. What that looks like going forward, we'll continue to reassess. And I never lock myself in, by the way. if I determine that the US dollar is a better exit, there's no question about that. I'm looking for the best trade at the right time. Now, 4 years from now, as Bitcoin overtakes gold's market cap, does gold become more obsolete at that point, right? I don't know. Ask China, ask Russia. They continue to amass massive amount of gold, de-dollarizing. Gold is money. Whoever owns the gold gets a seat at the table. There's going to be a system reset, right? Who's going to get a chance to decide what happens? Is gold going to be repriced massively? That I definitely believe there will be a day in our lifetime, not too far away, right? When I say not too far away, I can't put a time frame on that. Within the next decade, as soon as 2023, I don't know, and when they have the new Bretton Woods, right? Who are the ones that are going to be getting a seat at the table to decide what the future system looks like? It's going to be those holding the gold. There's no question about that in my mind. Right now, though, gold is looking ugly. Gold is looking like, and especially if we get that big, massive rise in the 10-year, and as soon as this week, gold is going to continue to be under pressure. Let's take a look on a higher time frame. This is a massive drawdown that gold is seeing. I don't think it's appropriately priced. We know gold is the most heavily manipulated market in the world. That's just what it is. The reason that you want to own gold, in my opinion, is for the day that manipulation comes to an end. Gold down 20%. That's a massive drawdown off the all-time high on gold. You're into some nice support, by the way. If you extend that double bottom over here all the way to the left, you're looking at that last resistance that occurred in March of 2020, right before the crisis. This is the resistance gold put in. Gold only pulled back during the crisis 15%, right? And then bounced up hard. And then that became pretty strong support all through April and into June. That area that we're trading at right now, 1675, became very strong support. It's possible it holds. It's possible it holds. And if this holds right now, do you try to pick the bottom, being like gold's off almost 20%? If you're a physical stacker, yes, in my opinion, not investment advice, nor is anything I say investment advice. I'm just telling you as I see it. I hope it helps you firm up your own opinion. I hope it makes you make good decisions and choices. Either which way, if you're a physical stacker, is now a good time to be picking up some of the shiny stuff. Well, I definitely think so. If you're a trader, watch out. If this breaks, we could see obviously much further downside. Where that ends, we got next, 1587 is pretty far from here. It could go even lower over there. Pretty strong support in that area, 1572. Let's draw it in for myself, an area of support over there, right? Gold becomes really attractive over there in that area. Could it go down even further? There's no question about that, right? 1480, I would have to say at that point, it's too good to be true. I'm definitely making a move at that point. Let's see what happens. Now, let me finish up my gold rant over here, right? Before I'm looking to get back into gold on a short, or before I would say, okay, the waters look clear. It's got a massive amount of repair to do. Even over here last week, as it was consolidating below that trend line, that broken trend line support as resistance, I said even if it came back into the channel, the descending wedge, I'm not looking to attack until we get above this line. That's why I made it darker. The same thing stands. We got to go much lower or much higher before gold becomes attractive. All right, I needed to do that for myself. It's been a while since I really focused in on gold, and I needed to see where we are. Jeff, I do have an opinion on Pax Gold. I could definitely envision myself taking a position, as I exit Bitcoin, but I don't have any concerns over it. How about that? At this particular time, I don't have any concerns. This is silver under pressure here, taking out very strong and important support at 24.30. We need to flip that over here now to resistance. It's also coming in for the retest. Okay, you can see it broke down, coming in for the retest now. It's very important. Let's see if we get a successful resumption off, and then we're going to see further pressure on silver, or maybe this retest is a failed retest and it gets back above it. Very important technical occurrence taking place on silver right now as it breaks below the 24.30 resistance. look at this over here. It's still got to get above that trend line over here, which is a much lower area now to attack than it was above the 2630 that we were waiting for so long. It's a much lower level. It brings up perhaps a better entry, but right now is not the time. Be on the defensive. The metals continue to be under pressure. You don't try to catch the bottom. You wait for the repair. You wait for the momentum to build. You wait for that technical trigger each and every time. Let's take a look. Bitcoin over here, trying to retest, resume out over there. Looks good. Ethereum looks great, right? You can see Ethereum breakout coming in for the retest. So far looks successful. Wait for the trigger, right? And that trigger could be even better for you. 1872. My mouse right now, you can see the horizontal crosshairs at 1872. And I can see that last bit of resistance just now over back here in March the 20th. Through early March the 10th, that area was providing resistance. And then all the way back here in early February as well. So above 1872, that's when this is very clear. This is resuming off. And that would be a really, in my opinion, not investment in pies, really good time to enter. Also being able to know and manage your risk really well. It would be this last swing low that we potentially are putting in right now. Because if you break above it and then come back down, something's wrong. And it just means, listen, I'm managing my risk. I don't need to be right every time. I don't even need to be right half the time to make a killing in the market if I know how to manage my risk. That's Ethereum setting up here, getting ready to shine, looking good. And the best part about it is you could clearly, if you have a stop loss, by the way, whatever you're risking here, I don't know what it is on crypto, but if it's, from 1872, a stop loss at 1762, so call it $100. What's your upside on Ethereum? Just into the new all-time high, you're looking at $150, right? Is that correct math? Yeah, it is. And then you go into price discovery. Is Raul still talking $20,000 Ethereum? I don't know. Could that happen? Could $10,000? A lot of people I know, they're like happy with at the top of the bull market, $7,000, $8,000 Ethereum. I personally think that we see higher, unless something happens. It's highly speculative, but it's looking good here, and they continue to build and improve. What I'm getting at over here, this is looking like a really good entry. Let me go ahead and just, purple that up over there. All right, what else are we looking at? Let's take a look at FX over here. We see the dollar. Let me get back. The dollar we saw, I'm just going to, as I get into FX, focus on the dollar. We have that big movement on the dollar. It is coming in hot, right? Breaking through all this resistance at almost a vertical pace. Let's see what happens. We have a big week ahead of us. We have today, we have the announcement of the infrastructure plan, market reaction, Friday, non-farm payrolls, lots of big events that can move markets. Lots of big events that can move markets. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, especially here in the second quarter, 2021. Bitcoin's doing its own thing, breaking all correlations. It's evident to everyone right now. When we're talking about Friday's jobs numbers, the market reaction, the 10-year, we're more focused on the equity markets and FX. Alan brought up in one of his tweets over the last week, he was talking about how Bitcoin and tracking the 10-year, that Bitcoin's more of an inflation hedge. You saw Goldman on that announcement that their clients are finally interested. How behind the curve could you be? That they're finally interested in buying some Bitcoin over here and also as an inflation hedge, right? That's just one. Anyway, don't worry. Bitcoin's doing its own thing. It's doing its own thing around what? The 4-year cycle. This is just, I love this representation of all the cycles over here and what potentially we're looking at. I told you in yesterday's live stream, the next 6 months on Bitcoin are going to melt a lot of faces. It's going to happen very quickly. 6 months comes and goes in the blink of an eye. Now's the time to continue to mentally prepare for what's occurring. And by the way, this downside occurs just as quick as the upside. So be careful, because as we're approaching, by the way, if today, I don't want to get into Bitcoin. If today is, what we determine to be the market low, because we're right in the area right now. 58,000 is the bear market low on Bitcoin. And that means we're potentially looking somewhere around $385,000. That's a potential top, right? That's all going to unfold very quickly. All right, let me get back in. Jordan, focus. Focus on the technicals, Jordan. You got to keep it going over here. Let's take a look at FX. I'll start with the euro US dollar, and then we'll focus on some dollar pairs. So, look at that. Magic lines being magical. Magic lines being magical. The dollar, what I was just saying, has come pretty far, pretty fast. You got a lot of, let's say, do I think that this move is going to continue? I think it's dependent on what happens on Friday more than today. If Friday we get a very large job numbers, non-farm payroll, we could, I think, see a huge reaction in the 10-year, and that could send us very quickly, way quicker than I anticipated or expected, into that blue box. It's entirely possible. Be careful out there, right? You can't be like, oh, I expect that we're going to get a really strong non-farm payroll number, and therefore I'm just going to buy now. And Jordan said that, like, it's possible we reach that box and really quickly. That's dumb. Do not do that. That's not how we do, right? Right now, how do you do here, right? You could see, we'll focus on the technicals. Dollar very strong. Just after the breakout of that resistance, coming back in, looks very orderly, very good. Consolidating a little bit, not much else to add. Let's see what the euro's doing over here. And is it getting ready to attack here as you fall down far into the support, right? All as I can say, and I will say it, this is when we bought up the trade on the breakdown of this trend line over here. It was the same day we did the Forex Masterclass, Advanced Intermediate, talking about this trade, how it develops, how it plays out. Everyone and anyone who took the trade at the time is still holding and pushing as per that particular class. And this continues to really just fall into profit now. We're at a level, this support today, and because of what's going on, I would be taking a large piece off. I'm not in the trade. If I were in the trade, there's no question today into the support. I'm taking a massive piece off of that trade, waiting and watching to see how the market reacts. If the market breaks this support, there's much further downside, and the next target is this trend line. This trend line's a big deal. Let me just show you. This is the trend line that comes all the way back to 2008. If we break below this support here, the next target, look at all these blue dots, Oh, those aren't even blue dots. Hold on one second. Look at all these dots over here. Not much could get me off my game except a bunch of dots on my chart. Over here in 2008, we almost made it to 1,000 likes. That's pretty cool. Kenneth, thanks for being here. Thanks for smashing the like button, right? All right. Anyway, 2008, boom. These trend lines led to some massive trades for us in 2020 to the upside. And now breaking the support, look at this. This support played an important role all the way back in November of 2005, all the way here in 2004, also in November. And then after that broke, we tested that again all the way. It's an important line, right? Jordan, focus on the technicals. Hold on one second. Breaking this line, breaking this support, and if this were to break on Friday, yes, it could move to a massive move down. On the way down, right, it's the staircase up, an elevator down, right? It's possible you don't get an entry, for sure. It's possible that this could break the support and you don't get an entry. What I mean by that is you don't get the nice opportunity for that beautiful retest and resumption off. If that happens, let it get away from you and be happy about it. No problem. Market's always going to be there. There's always opportunity. Now, holding the support also, would it be realistic for us to come back up and test this bit of resistance over here? Oh, yeah. If that happens, that's going to green light me, and I will be very interested to seeing if that holds. And if we get the resumption off, I like it there a lot. I'll be watching and waiting for that. Right here, there's nothing to do. This is a take profit area if you're in the trade, right? And then you're still holding a little bit now. And if you get the breakout and this happens and dumps quick, then this is your next and last take profit area. I would be fully out on a test of that trend line because if you break below it, that opens up new entries, no problem. So Euro, it's been a while. It's been since end of February. There's been an opportunity here. It is right now. Let's take a look across other markets. Let me look at my friendly pound. Pound US dollar over there, breakdown, came all the way up for the retest, resumed off, and now what? Well, if I was in this trade, by the way, I would be stopped out at break even, or not yet stopped out and still have my original stop. Do you see that this resumed off pretty nicely, right? Not further. I don't think further enough that I would move my stop loss to break even. So, if I took this entry over here, I would be in this trade and still holding with my stop loss above this last little spike over here, above the resistance. And I would just be holding, waiting. Okay? I don't think anyone would have moved their stop loss so quickly. And if you did, I think you moved it too soon. You got to give that trade time to develop. But this is still trading below the resistance over here right now, right? Not much else to add. Pound continued to look pretty healthy compared to the dollar. Now, when do you start looking to attack to the upside on the pound, right? The structure taking place on the pound is massively bullish still, right? Hold on 1 second. I did it again. Oh, these dots just are getting me lately. All right. Thank you for Gene and everyone else who helped me get rid of those little dots a little bit quickly. Yeah. Listen, if you want this, Stefan, if you want to be able to trade altcoins, right? If you want focus what I'm doing here, whether I'm doing it on this is first of all, and sincerely, all shared freely and generously. This is massively good TA. If you want to understand how to trade crypto, focus what I'm doing here. It doesn't matter if I'm showing you on the pound US dollar, on the euro US dollar, and you're trading beans versus rice on Binance. It's all the same thing. If you want to understand how to trade a market, focus in FX. The only reason I could look at any market, you don't have to tell me the instrument or what it is, and be able to trade it off of price and price alone, is because of all the work that I do in FX. This is a free education, the best education you're going to find all across the tube. So focus, my brother. Don't get distracted, right? Don't focus. Focus, especially when I get in the flow. I didn't think we were going to have anything to talk about today. I really didn't think we were going to have anything to talk about today. But here we go. We're just getting started. Let me focus in right now as the markets have been open 18 minutes. I see the Nasdaq trading at the highs of the session. S&P coming up a little bit. Is the Nasdaq getting close to breaking outside that bull flag? It's coming into the resistance right now. Yes, be aware. Don't ever FOMO, right? Why it appears pretty bullish this morning. We're into resistance. There's no question. I don't even know what time the infrastructure or if it's been announced yet. I'm out of the loop there. But you could wake up. We could, if you went to bed right now and woke up at the close, we could be trading below the support. You're into resistance. You never, ever, ever buy into resistance, ever. And you don't buy in the breakout either. You wait for the retest, the resumption off. It's all about patience, having the patience of a predator. All right, what else are we looking at over here? What's the corn doing over here? Bitcoin, so far at the highs of the session, it's come on nicely into that bit of trend line support, right? Broke down over here, broke the trend line support, came in for the retest, never resumed off. This is the 8-hour. I was focused on the 2-hour at the time. This is on the 8-hour. Never came in on the retest and resumed off, and it actually was a failed test, bringing you back above the trend line, and then it held, breaking out of the bull flag, coming in now for a retest. This line is holding again. Beautiful. All right, what else? Australian dollar, US dollar. Let's see what's going on. Boom. This support is holding. This trend line support here is holding. You can see it holding, resuming off. Is the structure here bullish or bearish? Look at all these lines. Why does this happen? Sorry, I'm actually just, getting my bearings here. It's how long we've been live, 49 minutes. It seems to have taken 2 minutes. There's still a lot I want to talk about. So I'm going to keep going over there. All right, there's still a lot of charts I want to look at. I looked over and I saw we had 1,000 likes, and I was like, wait, how much time has passed? That 15 minutes has gone quick. I'm just going to keep diving in. I just needed a pause for a second, take get rid of these some dots and take a sip of water. By the way, if you're watching this right now on the replay, I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Here we go. Australian dollar, US dollar, it's holding that trend line over here. Looks, well, neutral, right? First of all, I see all this also. Price has really gone nowhere for a while now. That could mean what happens. Markets work like this. Consolidation, expansion. Consolidation, expansion. The longer you've been in consolidation, you're getting ready for a big expansion. Is it going to be here? Are we going to hold this area of support, this trend line support right now? Or are we about to break down? If we break down and lose this, where I have this line over here, if we break down over here, that's a trigger, and then we're targeting, the support is pretty far down. It's almost 300 pips away. That's a big move. It's something to watch, actually. I'm going to watch it and see what happens. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Let's check it out. New Zealand dollar, US dollar under a little bit of pressure. That's kind of holding to at the same time. This looks like a bear flag to me, possibly developing. You could see that bear flag right over here into the resistance. That could offer, or could have offered, a tricky signal for someone, right? Could you have taken this session over here, this signal over here? And if you did, was it a good entry? I think so. There's no question about that. If you would have took that short on that lower low outside of that bear flag, that's a really good entry. No question about that. Even if you get stopped out of the trade, it was a good trade to take. Now, the thing that you have to be a little bit, let's say, aware of is the dollar, coming hard and fast. Do you want to attack the dollar, right? And you have to have that awareness of the calendar. Trading FX, you always got to know what's on the calendar. You know that non-farm payrolls is coming up on Friday. The dollar's been already extended. Do you think it's going to continue to extend into non-farm payrolls? These are questions that really you should be asking yourself, right? Nevertheless, if you weren't aware of what was going on and you were just trading off of price and you had no idea, which you need to, but if you had no idea of the calendar and what was going on and you took this trade, I think it's still a good trade in my opinion. You did the right thing. And if you take enough of those all year long, you're going to be profitable, right? But right now, if you have the advantage that you didn't take this trade, right? And you're looking at this and you're seeing, all right, that's a bear flag developing. Right now, you need that patience of a predator, right? And continue to watch this one. I have it green. I'm going to leave it green. The Australian dollar, US dollar, and the New Zealand dollar, US dollar are definitely lined up here. I'm going to be stalking and watching them. Both to the short side, if anything develops, if we get a clear signal and trigger. U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, you guys have all crushed that on your own. Dave sharing with us yesterday his analysis. Continues here to peak out and rise. Wow. Are you taking profits here? Look at all of these dots. Man, I'm so sorry that these dots have me completely triggered. I don't want to... These dots, they got me so bad. All right. Whatever. It's not whatever. Anyway, trading view. Get on it. Fix that up. Let's go. Are you looking to take profit here? That's out of that bull flag. Look, I missed this one so badly. We were lining this up, and I did so much work over here, and then I missed the breakout. No question about it. That's why I'm looking at it, because I missed it so badly. All right. Anyway. Up here right now, we've come far and hard. Do you think that it's time to take some profits? I'm looking at the resistance that we're into right now, right? I'm trying to see if we're into some heavy resistance. It could still go further. It's hard, if you're in the trade, you know better than me, and you manage that, right? You could say that we're right here, right now, starting over here, back in, when is this? I can't even see. This is over here, all the way back in May of 2018, that resistance. It's a little bit higher. Right now, I really don't see too much. Yeah, sorry. A little after, the month after in June, we got another retest of resistance, and then follow the mouse over. You could see some resistance. You're getting into an area or a pocket right now, especially ahead of this Friday. I don't know. I'm not in it, but we've come far and fast. How about that? The big resistance over here at 112.18. I want to know more about that. I'm going to come to a bigger time frame right now. I want to see why I have that marked as such big resistance. Oh, Jordan, such bad work here. Really such bad work and not really, You know what it is? I'm going to tell you here my fault. Really? Because it's really important right now to focus on where you mess up. You know, and what I messed up was that for so long, there was so much other opportunity in the market why the US dollar, Japanese yen was going sideways. And I just told you, as we looked at the Australian dollar, US dollar, when something starts consolidating for so long, it just means it's getting ready for a big move. You could look at the Australian dollar, Euro Australian dollar, Euro Australian dollar. Trying to find out when over here we were consolidating for so long over here, right? And look at the massive move it led to the downside. Euro US dollar Japanese yen, it's prolonged consolidation and going nowhere for so long really got me off the trade and out of the game. It's a big miss on my part. It's a really big miss. And I'm just letting that soak in. I'm more concerned of where I fail, you know? Anyway, thank you for spending a moment to let me dwell on that, to kind of like make some tweaks inside my mind, rewire my brain a little bit so I don't let those opportunities get away from me in the future. What's going on now in the bigger picture, though, over here? US dollar, Japanese yen. I'm looking for a big area of resistance. I missed the consolidations. I missed it on this little macro level over here. And then I missed the bigger picture over here. It's really gotten away from me, right? Do I wait? Do I see what happens at this huge resistance 112.18? And if we get above it, look to attack the last opportunity or just let it go? I don't know. That's why I'm talking it out over here. Yeah, but still, Andy. Yeah, Andy. Look, I'm not hard on myself. You know. By the way, I mean, you have love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? So you have to be merciful not only with your neighbor, but with yourself. At the same time, you can't perform at a high level unless you expect, a lot from yourself. I'm just looking, and it doesn't matter if it's US dollar, Japanese yen, or if it's another instrument and or pair that offers a similar opportunity in the future. I'm just taking the extra time here to focus in on what's important. And that's where I dropped the ball, and I'm okay with that. But I want to learn so that next time it happens, I'm prepared. We could stop over. We'll take a look at Cardano really quick. Let me jump over here really quick to see what she's doing. Right? Cardano, after its massive Forex, has continued to consolidate. Looks pretty good. I think this is probably the greatest cheat you could see on Cardano. Look at that line of support. That's beautiful. Now, if I were interested in trading Cardano, I would take this line over here, this prime line. I would copy it, clone it. I mean, you could see it also playing out right over there. And then you could see it also playing out over there. Those are your guidelines on Cardano. So right now, if you're looking to buy, right, what are you doing? Yeah, I think it's this line you're waiting for it to get above or break above since it's crypto. And if Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to break out over here into price discovery, alts will soon thereafter pop. So Cardano looking good, but that's the cheat sheet I would use if I were you, and just clean that up on your own chart to do that. All right, what else? Let's take a look. I continue to look at some Japanese yen pairs now that we've taken a look at the dollar pairs. We're one like short of 1100. There you go. Thank you for getting us over there. And Litecoin too. Let's take a quick look at Litecoin. Normally following Bitcoin. I can't even look at. Let's look at BitMEX. BitMEX is good Bitcoiners over here, right? So look at that. Did you notice the same? This is the same pattern happening on Cardano. If you go back to Cardano yourself, you could see the lower high put in over there. You could see the spring coiling down over here, right? Triangle. Right? So, Bitcoin is leading. Ethereum is leading. These guys are still lagging a little bit. You wait for the break. Breaks up here. But the reason why I'm doing what I do on FX is so that you could pull up any of these little altcoins and do the same. And last one, Litecoin BTC. You guys are missing the goods, getting distracted. I pulled up Coinbase. Ugh. Yeah. Bitcoin destroying. This is what it's going to look like, I believe, throughout the summer. from possibly, do not quote me on this. I'm not figuring it out. But, you know, I could see from sometime in May, June through August, really Bitcoin putting the pressure on alts like you see happening right now on Litecoin. But Litecoin is coiled back. I don't know. I mean, it's not. Do you want to go ahead and pick a bottom? And for what reason? It's not how we do it, right? So Litecoin Bitcoin looks pretty bad over here. You know, Litecoin Bitcoin, as we talk about tomorrow, you know, exiting Bitcoin versus alts, is that one of the pairs that you might have your sights on, those sniper sights? Are you waiting? And I'm going to show you in tomorrow's training session. I'm going to show you right now the exact point to pounce, right? And is this one of the pairs that you're going to be looking at? Maybe. I think so. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Heath continues to crush it on Trade Talk. If you're not subscribed, if anyone here has a link to Trade Talk, to Heath on Trade Talk, please go ahead and share it in the comments over here so we could get as many people on board where the best education is happening. No question about that. As well as Brandon, my boy Brandon on Crypto Trades and Tech, continuing to crush it and crush it together. They did a live stream together a few days ago. I was present. These guys are awesome. All right. What else? Let's take a look at Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Thank you, my brother. Just a big pause here and shout out to Elias, to Stefano, to George, to Pure Vita. Thank you, each and every one of you, for going ahead and taking the time to doing everything that you do each and every day. Thank you. I am grateful for you, and you make this experience here so much better for us all. Ooh, Heath is fire. Brandon's killer. Hit the love button. Let's go. Heath and Brandon, they definitely rock. No question about that. Cameron Tribe, thank you for that. Cameron Tribe. Turkey, represent. What a beautiful guy. Cameron, love you, brother. All right, let's keep going over here. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. What are we looking at over here? Oof. Yen weak. Y'all see it? Yen weak. I'm just looking. So we were, by the way, this gets turned over. So, wow. Pause. Mouthful. We got much more to go, Jordan. Get in it. Find the zone. Keep going. Keep pushing. Let's go. All right. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. We lined this one up. We had the breakout. We had the retest. The resumption off that's why that resistance was there. You could see the resumption off. It came into that resistance line I just turned over. All right. Hold on. Let me zoom in a little bit. I want you to, if you're watching this without visualization right now, right? If you're walking right now through the campus, through the park, I'm glad that you're here. I need to be a little bit, look over there. Look over here for a second. If you give me that. Yeah. Listen, again and again, if you're not watching every day, you're missing out. That's first of all. If you're not watching each and every day, you are missing out. If you get a pi cycle cross right now, it's a bogus signal. Do not act on it or you're going to get your face melted off. All right? Boom. Just described the trade talk. Nasdaq continues. Nasdaq breaking out. I want to come back to the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, but the Nasdaq broke out that bull flag, right? And coming into that resistance right now. Listen, do not FOMO. The market's always going to be there. What you're looking to happen if we break above here, right, is then for the retest, and especially if you hold this on the way up, as we're seeing happen on Bitcoin right now, that's when you attack, right? Depending on where it happens. You don't want to attack if you're into that 13,330 resistance. Anyway, we'll keep it going over here. I'll keep you informed. It's too soon. All I'm saying, do not take the breakout. Well, I don't take breakouts. That's for sure. All right. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, learning experience over here. And we could talk about it because we lined it up the whole time, right? We had over here this line of attack. We broke out above it, pulled back for the retest. That's what the successful retest, resumed off above that resistance, came right into the resistance that we had in there, backed off again, and then held that broken resistance, holding as support, resuming up, and continue to break out over there. It's conquering the markets all day long, you know? So pound Japanese yen, similar thing. This one's harder to play. I would not have attacked this one because you had a big breakout and then the retest. This is a bullish market over here, but the resistance, the breakout, the signal is too close into resistance. I wouldn't have took it. But right now, this is lining up another trade right now. Do you see that this resistance over here, this line I'm putting it at 152.08, a retest of that at any point, that brings up another entry. And I think we're close. We're really close to my target, right? Earlier in the year, first week of January, first two weeks of January, I pointed out my target here on on the pound Japanese yen, and we're getting close to it. You see that it's unraveling really quickly, but we're getting close to it. And by the way, that would be full take profit, but get above that, that opens up much further upside, right? So we'll see what happens over there. All right, but Japanese yen, these are things that we were looking at sessions ago. I would never have gotten into the pound Japanese yen. Australian dollar Japanese yen all day long. Those have taken place. It's not the time to be attacking now. The euro Japanese yen was lagging, and then look what happened. So why we're looking at all of this, you are actually rewiring and programming your brain. So as this continues to unfold in real time, in not only the weeks, not only the months, but in the years and decades ahead, you're right there and you're right on time. And look at that. You got the breakout, the retest, and then the resumption, conquering the markets all day long. And it's beautiful. Is Lemmy here? Lemmy, what's up, my brother? Lemmy, thank you for being you. Really grateful for it, right? Wait for the Gina ahead of me. Gina ahead of me. No, I don't. Oh, a short squeeze, maybe. That's possible, right? If you get like a bunch of traders exiting on a false, bogus pi cycle cross, and then price continues to rise, are they going to be chasing price afterwards? Yes, but I don't think that's going to be like a short. I think those will be retail traders, and I think that those will be insignificant retail traders. I think that all they're doing is they're doing what I said is going to happen so often during this bull market phase, that people are going to be taking profits or exiting trades and then buying back higher. I don't think that they have the ability or the firepower here to move the market. They're just hurting themselves, in my opinion. Right now, we're looking at, last week we had two new billionaires enter the market from Norway. Two Norwegian billionaires enter the market. One only entered Bitcoin because another billionaire from his country entered before him, and he didn't want the other one to make more money than him. So now we got some pissing contest between billionaires developing, and none of the billionaires want to get left behind. And we got a lot of them have entered. Now, Michael Saylor was dead wrong when he said if 10 billionaires enter the market, forget about it. Bitcoin is trading at X amount of, we've already had 10 billionaires enter the market. Michael's bullish. But anyway, almost 1,200 likes. Almost 1,200 likes. We did good. Why would it be a false pi cycle cross? Yeah, so the pi cycle was developed, backtesting data, trying to curve fit a little bit. Price is not going vertical right now or anything close to it. If you're doing the calculations, I don't care to do the math. Some people are yelling at me to do the math. No, I don't need to do the math. I could just look at the chart. Probably when the model broke over here in March, right? This little data over here is affecting the pi cycle right over here right now. But the pi cycle indicator is nothing more than a indicator to check your awareness. The pi cycle, I've told you, and I've told you for a while, it's not even on the top of the hierarchy of things that we're looking at, And the first thing that we're looking at and the most important is price. And price is not giving any indication that we have any type of double wave occurring. If we take out this resistance here in the area of 77,000, 74,000, and all of a sudden move up quickly and vertically towards 104, well, then that's a pi cycle exit without the pi cycle crossing because the pi cycle is broken. But that's when we would say, all right, it's time to take some chips off the table here more than normal, because now we're looking at what is a double wave occurring, and we'll focus and trade accordingly. Man, I enjoyed the time with you. Is there anything else that we want to talk about? You know? Right. Pi cycle was defined, right? Was right, exactly, after the last bull market top. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Especially the billionaires. Wow, Tom. Good to see you, my brother. Great to see you. Well, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. All right, I'm just taking a look across. Let's take a look at markets really quick. See what's going on over here. And markets are humming. Was the infrastructure package announced? Does anyone have a number on that? Thank you. Does anyone have a number on the infrastructure package? It looks like it was announced by the reaction of the market. And this is just offering up opportunity here, right? Why do I say it's off? By the way, the only thing now that this has proven itself that will get me to flip-flop on the dollar, right? And instead of being that guy that, yeah, I'm a dollar bull, 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 I'm a dollar, right? Instead of being that guy, I'm happy with like, okay, bullish on the dollar, bearish on the dollar, bullish on the dollar. If we cross back below and get a technical breakdown, I will go bearish on the dollar very quickly, because that's how you do it. You cut your losers short, right? And you push your winners. That's trading 101. It's the only way to do it. It's what we do. 4 trillion. Oh my goodness. Market is Miguel, for sure we'll go out with a head snack. Market is totally, do you see that? You see what they did there? Washington Post leaking a low number. They come in with a high number. Market pricing that in. Be careful. And the only reason I say be careful, because it's about Friday next, right? It's about Friday's non-farm payroll. That could derail things. If we get a super strong print, you will see the 10-year rising accordingly. We're all aware ahead of time of what could happen. And that's all. Let's drop some head snack, and then we'll see if we got any rants left in us. It's coming up right now.
Markets, analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing just to pretend they're in fashion. Hit the like button, comments, and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room. Grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
It's a taco day. It's a taco day.
So where's the money coming from, right? That was the question. $4 trillion. Where is that money coming from? The more important question is, where's that money going? It's billed as an infrastructure plan. Can you imagine $4 trillion was built on infrastructure inside the US? I mean, top of the line, everything. Hey, man, why not just build everyone a new home, right? That's not where the money's going. That should be the question. You're calling it an infrastructure plan. We better have some new bridges, right? We better have some nice looking airports. our roads and our tolls paid for now, right? Who knows? But I'm more interested in where that money's going, where it's coming from. The printer goes brr. We all know that. Bitcoin getting ready here is going to price it all in. As the Nasdaq here is going, I've noticed on days that the Nasdaq really pumps. And if anyone wanted to pull up a chart comparing the two, maybe they could see it a little bit clearer. It's just from observations that Bitcoin kind of lags a little bit on the day that you're seeing huge activity in the Nasdaq. But we'll see what happens after that, tomorrow. So everything looking good here. Good session. I was worried we would have anything to talk about. I'm glad we did. I'm going to go out with some honeymoon for sure, but I'm going to go out with the vocal version. And just want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you, Lemmy. Thank you, Stefano. Thank you, Pure Vita. Thank you, Cam and Tribe. Thank you, George. Thank you, Elias. Fire. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you for helping make this go so well, so smoothly. Thank you, each and every one here today, present, who are conquering the markets. Grateful for each and every one of you. I don't know how long I was muted for, but I want to hear that one more time. Oh, Jordan, focus on the technicals. Yeah, I don't know. Let me pause that really quick. I don't know if I missed this, if I was muted when I was answering this question. So, if I was muted when I answered that question, I definitely is definitely important enough to just repeat again, even if I was speaking live at the time. Justin's asking, right? We take 3 trades per week maximum. What happens if you have multiple trades active? Do you stop yourself from taking any new trades? If those multiple active trades at least have a stop loss at break even or locked in profit, better, you continue to take 3 new trades. If you had 3 open trades and they still had not yet moved to a place where you had moved the stop loss to at least break even, you would not be taking on any new trades at that point. That's not going to happen and or occur, by the way. Right? So you're not going to run into that situation. But if the question more is, if I have trades that already have, been stop losses at least break even, do I enter new ones the following week? Yes, 100%. Just want to make sure that we got that answered. I'm not sure if I was muted or not when that occurred. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow.